It's Lindsay again. It's June 26, 2025. It's Thursday. I just got cut off when I was making that video. Somehow it just got cut off. But anyway, so the janitor the other day, this woman, Alicia, at the Gold's Gym over there at Walsman in 78, she was wearing a t-shirt that said Paris on it, I noticed, and then she had on some jeans. And then about 10 minutes later, I looked again and she had changed into some black pants, and I don't know if she's still wearing that t-shirt, but she was hovering around the treadmills, like doing her cleaning up around there, kind of looking at me, trying to be inconspicuous. But I noticed that. I was like, okay, Paris. It was like a pink kind of t-shirt that said Paris or something, Paris, and I think it had whatever, Paris, France or something. And then today I noticed that she was talking to she was standing by the door over where the bikes are, the area, like the stationary bikes where the biking, they have a class in there, like the spinning class, I guess, with those bicycles. And she, for a while, she was standing out there. I was on the very last treadmill, the one that I have been getting on a lot lately. And she was talking to some young man for quite a while, for at least 10 minutes, maybe more. And I was kind of looking at him. He had some tattoos. He had on some Converse tennis shoes. He had a tattoo that said "God is good." And I kind of was like, he kind of looks like her. I wonder if that's her son, because she did at one point tell me that she had a son or maybe two, and I think she has a daughter who maybe the son's like in his 30s. And I was like, they kind of look alike. He looked a little bit like her. I could tell that maybe, I could be wrong, but maybe that's her son. I was like, well, he's a nice looking guy. He seems like a nice young man, And so anyway, I was like, okay, maybe that's her son. I didn't want to ask. I just was like kind of I was looking at her, I was looking at him, and I could see that they had similar features, facial features. I'm like, I bet that's her son, but I don't know. I could be wrong, because I wouldn't know. But anyway, he was there, and he had on some kind of a cancer, one of those t-shirts with like the little cancer ribbon thing on it, that whatever thing. So I don't know, but I noticed that. And then there's always weird stuff that happens that goes on there, and I know it's because of all the surveillance, and I know it's because this legal stuff that I'm going through, the way I have been exposing these narcissists, and the way I guess I just had disappeared from going there, and then all of a sudden I come back. I think they try to whenever somebody does that, I guess whatever the fuck, and by the way, whatever the hell really was going on with that whole legal stuff and my signing all those papers under duress, and that had to do with property in Kerrville, which there's more to it. There's obviously more to it, that they're still trying to control my life and my money. And I have talked about ad nauseum how I wish I had my own gym, that I owned a gym, that I don't have to be there every day, but a few hours a day, but I own the whole fucking place. That was my dream. And I've had that dream or vision for many, many years. And, but that's just something that I've always wanted, because as much as I am passionate about going to the gym, I don't want to be there all the time, but I want to be the owner or one of the owners making money without even having to be there. That's like a dream I have, because it's such a passion, like I said, because it's such a big deal to me, the going to the gym. And I enjoy, for the most part, the environment, with obviously some exceptions. But, so I feel that at my age and with my experience and my whatever, it's something that I deserve, and I've worked hard for this. And I don't know, obviously you have to have the money, you have to have the funding, you have to either get some kind of a lender or borrow money. I don't know, there's a lot of, but people do things all the time. They start businesses all the time. There's no reason why me, with no kids, single, not married, why can't I be an entrepreneur? I've tried everything. I've tried to have an LLC, of a consulting business called Lindsay's Clean Sweep, which I don't know why the fuck I called it that, but it was just something I thought of randomly, like as a consulting company. I've tried to have so many different things over the years, that everything I've tried to do business-wise to make money whether it be making art, selling my art online, my paintings, which got sabotaged. Everything ends up getting sabotaged, and I get identity theft, I get character assassination, and I get financially ruined, because this just seems to be what goes on no matter what I do, how hard I try. That seems to be what happens to me, because there's people out there, and especially my own so-called family, who do not, for whatever reason, don't want me to be successful. They want me under their control, and they don't want me to be independent. I'm a very, very independent person. I'm extremely independent-minded and stubborn, and I'm a Capricorn, and I'm not going to ever fucking change for anybody. If I change, it's for myself. And they know that. These people know that about. My own fucking mother knows that, even though she acts like I'm a total fucking stranger, and she pretty much, I'll probably never see her again. But these people have always treated me so differently throughout my life. I've been so severely scapegoated. And I do take after, even though he probably, or I don't think he's my biological father, Ben Baldwin, Armistead Baldwin Jr., who died at age 60 from liver cirrhosis and smoking too much and just neglecting his health and drinking too much. Well, I'm not an alcoholic, but I do have characteristics like him. I'm a lot like him in certain ways as far as my personality goes. And he was also a Capricorn. And he was very much, just stubborn and independent and liked to be alone. I'm somebody who enjoys I'm a recluse by nature. I like being alone. I don't mind being alone. And I enjoy my time alone. And people don't seem to fucking understand that. They have a problem with that. They think that you always have to be socializing and talking to people. No, you don't, and I don't have to do that. That's not my personality, and I'm not out there trying to fucking make a name for myself. I don't need to do that. If people like me, they like me. If they don't, I don't fucking give a shit. I'm not going to sell them a fake script, I'm not a fucking snake oil salesman being fake. I am who I am. And I know there's plenty of people who dislike me in San Antonio or wherever other places, and I don't care. What do you want me to do? What am I supposed to make a public apology for? What? I don't have anything to apologize for. I don't feel bad. I haven't done anything. So I have nothing to feel bad about, quite honestly. But if they want to project all their shit onto me as usual, then go right the fuck ahead. Because I'll just fucking boomerang it back to your face, I'm so used to being lied to, exploited, manipulated, gang-stalked, mocked, humiliated, betrayed. It's like, what? That's all I've ever known. That's all I've ever known. So why should it surprise me? I always know going into any situation, especially with a fucking relation shit fucking fake thing, what to expect. That it's always going to end up, it's always going to end. That's how every single narcissistic relationship ends. There's always an expiration date. I don't care if it's a business partner, if it's somebody in your family. They always have an expiration date. These people are very much control freaks, and they have to have control over people, or else that's their whole purpose in life, is to control other people using this fake authority that they seem to think that they have. They're grandiose, they're delusional, they're psychopaths, and I can't fucking stand being around those people. I like to watch them from a distance, how fucking ridiculous they are, but as far as being around them, being in their company, I don't want to be around them. I can handle them in very small increments, because I get nauseated being around that kind of stuff, the way they're so arrogant and superficial and stuck up, the way they behave. I just can't. I watch it and I find it amusing, because I see it all the time. You see it at the gym. You see it at the fucking anywhere. Especially, they love to try to show off in front of me for whatever reason. These kinds of people who I tend to attract like a magnet. And it's very nerve-wracking, because I'm not like that. I'm very outspoken. I'm very truthful, but I'm not one of those kinds of people at all. Don't put me in that category, because that's not who I am. But I stand up for myself, and I speak out against corruption, against discrimination, and against my being a targeted individual, okay? And my being exploited wrongfully by people who took advantage and stole my money, stole my identity, stole my ideas, and profited off me illegally. They did not have permission to do that. I know how to think for myself. And if I need help, I ask for it or fucking pay somebody to do stuff in my house. I don't ask for favors from anybody like these fucking people do. They're just disgusting. The more you get to know people, the more you just want to be the fuck away from mostly everybody, because that's how people behave. And I see it all the goddamn time. The disgusting behavior of some people is just disgusting, to the point that thank God I'm single, and thank God I don't have kids, and thank God I'm not involved with anybody intimately, because I don't want to be anybody touching me anymore anytime soon, because I'm so fucking fed up with the shit that I went through with that fucking scumbag shit, pervert asshole, for example. You know, I've had it. And the men are all the same. They're all a bunch of fucking asshole pigs. The women are bitches, you know, rude, giving me dirty looks all the fucking time. There's another stalker at the gym lately, and today she was playing basketball. She's a fucking stalker. I know she's some government stalker watching me. They stick out like sore thumbs. I don't know. Could you be any more obvious about it, lady? What do you want? What the fuck? Who's paying you to do that? What fucking flying monkey are you a part of? What narcissist is paying you to do this shit? You know, if I go up and ask them that, then I get in trouble. But I have the right to know when I'm being stalked. What the fuck do you want, you know? I have to go through this every fucking day. And on my way back from the gym, first of all, they had a delivery. They were delivering a bunch of stuff, and I watched I think her name is Andrea or Andrea, I don't know, some woman who works there. She was walking in front of the guy, and she opened up some little area for him to put the delivery stuff. I think he was probably with some delivery company, I don't know which one. And she's like looking at her phone, doing something, and then I saw that when I was on the elliptical. And then as I'm leaving, I noticed another girl who works there as a personal trainer. Brianna, I think is her name. Blonde girl, has a tattoo, and she's friendly. I mean, I get along with her pretty well. I don't really have a problem with it. Like I said, I can get along with the staff pretty well. I don't really, you know, I don't know any of them well. You know, I just keep it very professional. But anyway, when I'm leaving, I notice that she's going into the cardio cinema room as well as another girl following her in there. Both of them went into that room. I'm like, well, okay, right when I'm walking out the door after I had changed clothes. And then I go into the parking lot, and there's like there's somebody in a truck watching me, like as I'm getting in my car, just staring at me. And there's another guy who goes there, and he drives a truck that says Cox Enterprises or something, something Cox. And I notice that guy sometimes, and that just makes me think of, and he's kind of a more shorter statured man, you know, maybe 5'8", I don't know, and that just makes me think of the man Tommy Cox, who I used to work. I know the man from Houston. He had an oil company called Garrett Oil Petrochemicals, and I used to work for that. I worked for him one summer in Houston, over there by the Summit, where the Summit used to be, I guess, and now it's something, Greenway Plaza. I worked there one summer before I went to college for his company, Garrett Oil Petrochemicals. So he owned an oil company. I don't know if he probably still does. He had a son named Garrett, I think. His name was Tommy Cox, and he was married to a woman named Jan Cox, who was a good friend of my mother's, and I was good friends with her as well. She was a cat lover, just like I was. And Jan, I think they got divorced, and Jan ended up, from what my mother told me, ended up marrying some rabbi, some Jewish man, I think. That's Jan Cox. And so I grew up around these people. I knew them. I knew Jan very well. I knew Tommy Cox, who was a really friendly guy, you know, very nice man. And I just, every time I see that guy, I see his truck, I think Tommy Cox. And I keep forgetting to mention that in a video, because I feel like all these things that happen to me kind of happen for a reason. You know, it's like the names, the places, the people, it's all connected to things from my past. And that name, Tommy Cox, of course, I remember working for his company a long time ago, before I was in one summer, probably during my maybe before I started college at NMSU, or my first summer home from college. I don't remember exactly if I had already started college or not, but I do remember working at that, as an assistant at that company for a while. And I was just doing paperwork, secretarial work. So that, I remember that. Long time ago, I was like in my barely 20 years old, I've had so many jobs, so many throughout my life. Everything from secretary to call centers to waitressing to so many different things that I don't. In fact, my resume would probably take up like 5 pages if I put everything. And a lot of these jobs I just have forgotten about because I am such the type of person who I have to work for myself. I cannot follow a fucking schedule that somebody wants me to follow. I have my own way of doing things, my own regimens, my own schedule, and I will not adhere to different. I've already made enough changes in my life to the point that I can't. This is what I have to do for now. And when I'm ready to make changes, I'll do it myself. I don't need other people to fucking try to manipulate me or try to force me or whatever. I don't need that shit. So stay away from me. It's not going to work with me. I'm way too smart for that. And then I get home, okay, I was like, okay, I don't really want to cook today. So I stopped at Burger King and got an Impossible Vegetarian Whopper thing, which is a vegetarian, just a sandwich. That's all. I had that. No cheese. I don't eat cheese. Just no mayonnaise, but with some ketchup on it. A sandwich, an Impossible Vegetarian thing. So I had that, and I'm just about to eat my fucking sandwich, and I hear a knock on the fucking window or on a knock. I'm like, oh God, no, don't tell me that it's that. Don't start. I was praying that it's not who I thought it was going to be. Because he would always fucking show up right when I was about to fucking eat or right when I was about to finish eating, because that's what these fucking dumb fucks do when they want to control you. So it wasn't him, but I looked out the window and there's a white car behind my fucking car in the driveway. So I opened the door a little bit and some girl's like, "Hi, are you Lindsay Baldwin?" And she's walking towards my gate with some kind of a fucking clipboard thing, one of these salespeople thing, and she had on like a white tank top. And I said, I'm not interested right now, and I shut the door and came back in. She was acting all enthusiastic, like a salesperson. I'm like, I'm not in the fucking mood to deal with this shit right now. I'm about to fucking eat my fucking lunch. Get the fuck out of here, I'm thinking. Who the fuck are you? And don't fucking park behind my car, by the way. What the fuck do you think you're doing? Park in front of the fucking, on the street. What the fuck's up with that? And I have a feeling that was, once again, a setup. Obviously, this is all part of this legal shit. It's all part of this smear campaign to get revenge on me. To try to pick on me right when I'm about to fucking eat, when I'm hungry, or whatever. Because that's what these fucking people do. That's how fucking dumb they are. And it makes me infuriated because it's a violation of my fucking rights. I'm not a fucking business. I don't run a fucking business in my fucking house, okay? And since I changed my fucking number again, the only people who have my number is my mother, and I think that's it. I'm not giving my fucking number out anymore to anybody. And if I have to keep on changing the fucking number, I will. Because I don't want to be bothered by these kinds of fucking people, ever, again. I have had to change, and the reason I changed it again is because that fucking asshole manipulated me into giving him my number again. That fucking shit narcissist asshole who's been scamming me and scheming me the whole fucking time, the whole fucking past 2 years. We're working with God knows how many other people to fuck up my life. And so it's stupid, that fucking asshole. I can't stand him. I don't even want to say his fucking name anymore because he makes me sick to my stomach. Literally, I can't stand him. Thank God I don't I can't stand him, and I don't fucking owe him anything, and I can't stand him, and I'll never fucking forgive that asshole. He can get the fuck away and say the fuck away, and thank God he hasn't bothered me anymore, because I did do a fucking police report on that motherfucker. Finally! Which it doesn't do any good anyway, but I finally did a fucking police report on his fucking ass, just for my own safety, to protect myself. because I don't know what the fuck he's capable of. But I had to protect myself because I don't trust him, and I don't trust anybody, but especially not him. After all the shit he fucking put me through, all the fucking humiliation, the devaluation, all the shit that motherfucker did to me, he'll get his goddamn karma one day, I'm sure. But quite frankly, I don't give a shit, and I don't want to know what the fuck. I couldn't care less. I just don't want him ever to come near me again. So another thing is when I saw two on my way back from the gym going down I went down Highway 78. There's a Tesla, one of those silver Teslas in front of me, and it passes me up in one of the lanes, and he's turning left into after a street called like Meadow Creek or something. He was turning left into some little area where there's like a bunch of food stands and food trucks or something. I'm like, okay, a Tesla, that's interesting. And then I saw the Tesla and I kept going. And then I get home, I'm driving down Walters, and as I pass down that little Walters Market convenience store, it says there's a truck out there that says "Fighters Never Quit" or something with a big lion on it, and it's some kind of drink or beer, I don't know what, but it's something like "Fighters Never Give Up" or something like that was a motto, and it was I don't know what beer or what company that is, but it was a big lion. I'm thinking, is that Modelo beer? Whatever the fuck it is, something. And I was like, okay, well, I had to notice that because when I drive down Walters, there's always weird shit going on Walters Avenue that people are always trying to get my attention. Always shit like that, you know. And that's no coincidence. Oh, Walters Avenue, that Kenny would put me on a house on Canton and Walters. Oh, does that have anything to do with Walter Schutze? No, of course not. It's all coincidence, right? And she puts me in a house from 1922, the same year that my grandmother Evelyn Griffith was born. You see all the fucking things that they do to hide the truth of who I am? But I see it all. I know that they're lying to me about who I am, who my biological father is, and who that man Walter Schutze was. And I know that there's money involved. Obviously, that's what it's about. How could I be that fucking dumb? How could I be so stupid to not have figured that out? I figured it out a long fucking time ago, way before I ever started making videos about this shit. But they have to lie and cover their tracks and do all this fucking manipulation shit and steal my identity, steal my money, make me look crazy so that they can manipulate the narrative and continue to exploit me and profit off me illegally. These sick piece of shit. It's not, you don't have my permission to do that. It's my fucking life. And it makes me so mad that I never got a real why have I not had the opportunity to stand before a judge? A real judge, not some fucking paid Mason shit fuck asshole thinking it's a joke. Like that shit in fucking Kerrville. That bullshit. And that fucking probate case P23-107. What a fucking joke in Kerr County, Kerrville. Linda Luna! Melinda Luna! Another fucking actor? You're not a fucking lawyer, you're a fucking actor. Probably like that fucking Pam King bitch. You know, what the fuck? That's at least what I think. These people are fucking fake as can be. It just makes me mad because my life, they've tried to ruin my life. And thank God I'm still alive. They didn't kill me, but they tried. But so then I'm coming down Walters further up south to come to my street on Denver. And then as I'm turning right on Denver, I see on a street, it's called Essex, ESSEX, the street one block over. There's a Tesla turning right on that street. As I'm turning right on Denver, there's a Tesla, another Tesla, just like the one I saw on my way back on Highway 78, turning right onto Essex Street. I'm like, okay, so I see two Teslas, exact same model, those Teslas, those silver-looking, spaceship-looking things. Two of them in one day, within the span of 15 minutes? Or 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Isn't that a little bit strange? Is that just another coincidence? 2 in one day like that. But and then as I come here, there's a black car in front of that guy's house, or kind of in front of my house and his house, more or less in front of my house at the end of my area. She's parked in the car. I see that car all the time. It's like a black Toyota Camry or something. And she's just sitting with her tinted windows, and I go out to get my trash can to bring it back in. She's just sitting there looking at me, talking on her phone. I could see that she's doing that. I'm like, what? Okay, who are you and what do you want? I know that you know this guy next door. Whatever the fuck you're doing, it's none of my fucking business. I don't really give a shit what he does. If he does, let him do whatever the fuck he does, but don't fucking surveil me. All I ask is that you do not fucking surveil me. And I'm talking to this neighbor to my right. I don't give a shit what the fuck they do, but they don't have any right to be illegally surveil me because they work for the fucking police, just like the dumb fucks on the other side. And this guy, I was nice to him. I was nice to his cousin. I've never done anything to these people. I've been very nice to them, and I don't want to be on their bad side, but of course I already am. And whatever the fuck they do, I don't give a shit. Just leave me out of it, okay? Leave me the fuck out of it. But it's the other people that were really driving me fucking crazy at that other house, who were always fucking with me, stalking me, harassing me, making my life a fucking living hell in that goddamn flop house. That fucking Steven, whatever the fuck his name is, that Jeep Polish, that fucking place. Talk about living in a fucking nightmare. My life has been a fucking nightmare for the past, it's been a disaster. You think I want to live here? You think I chose to be in this situation? I'm not a fucking drug dealer. I don't do meth. I don't even fucking smoke pot. And if you people do it, good, do the fuck whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't care, but don't put me in that fucking category. And I'm not a fucking prostitute. I sure as a fuck am not involved with fucking pimps, even though that fucking Valdez motherfucker is a fucking pimp-ass, drug-dealing shit scum. Fucking asshole. That much I know. And he's involved with all these shits. They're all doing this to me. And I'm very angry because I deserve my privacy and my rights. And for them to do this to me, all the people connected, I've got all the fucking names of all these goddamn people who've done this to me. Most of them. And it goes, how dare you? How the fuck dare these people do this to me? You think I'm just going to sit there and take it in and not say anything? Oh, go do police reports with a fucking lot of good that does, because the fucking goddamn police are up to their fucking ears in this shit, illegal crap. Everybody knows that just because they wear a fucking uniform doesn't mean shit. They're basically thugs in a fucking uniform, most of them. Criminals in a goddamn uniform. As far as I'm concerned, just as bad as fucking people in prison. I'd trust a prisoner more than a fucking cop, probably. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust police. I sure as a fuck don't trust. I just don't. Because I see how they behave. Arrogant, stuck up, psychopathic people with a fucking gun that are out of control, and they abuse women, mostly, and minorities, and people who speak out. So why the fuck would I worship these people? No, I don't. I can think for myself. I'm not a fucking order follower like these people. I believe in law, I believe in authority, but don't fucking step on my rights when I haven't done anything.